everyone, it's your favorite 4-H agent, Jonette. And today, for your virtual summer camping experience, I'm gonna do some experiments with you. As my campers know, I like to do things that are really cool, messy, and a little bit explosive. But we're not gonna do anything explosive today. I have a few things that I want to show you. We're gonna experiment with water using items that you have at home. And to help me with these experiments today, I have my lovely niece, Kai. Say hello to everybody, Kai.
Hi.
So she's gonna be my little experiment helper. Keep watching and you can find out how you can break the skin of water. To understand this experiment, you have to understand surface tension. So water molecules are made up of 2 parts hydrogen, 1 part oxygen. So hydrogen and oxygen are very attracted to each other, which means they like to be very close. Swing like this close even. So because they stay so close together, they actually present a very strong surface on the water. Because they like to be together, it creates a little skin on the surface of water. If you break through the surface tension, then your hand gets wet. So how can we reduce the surface tension of water to be able to stick our hand in a glass of water without getting it wet?
Yeah.
So Kai, can you put your hand in a glass of water without your hand getting wet?
Yeah.
You can?
Yeah, I'll do this one.
All right, so put your hand in there. Put the whole hand in there.
This?
Yeah.
It's cold.
Did your hand get wet?
Yeah.
Okay, so Kai, go ahead and dry your hands on, broke through the surface tension of the water, and therefore her hand got wet. So let's do some other things to the water to reduce the surface tension and see if we can stick our hand in a glass of water without it getting wet. Are you ready?
Yeah, but I'm right here.
Uh-huh. So we have 3 glasses of water that we have set up here. And what we're going to do is we're going to sprinkle some things across the surface of the water. In this first glass, we're going to sprinkle a little bit of pepper on the surface of the water.
That's a lot.
Okay, good. So now you can see that the pepper is floating and a few pieces are falling through. All right, Kai, can you stick your hand in that to make sure that your hand does not get wet? Okay?
No.
So stick your hand through the surface.
It's gonna hurt.
All the way through. I see your finger. Now pull it out. Is it wet?
Yeah.
Your finger is wet?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's try something different.
Okay.
For the second cup, we are going to use baking soda. Why? Because it's a powder and it's what was in the pantry. So we're going to sprinkle some baking soda across the surface of the water to see how it works.
Nope.
So as we see, it's falling to the bottom. It's not even floating on top of the surface. But let's see if it affects the surface tension of the water. Okay, Kai, put your finger in the glass and see if you can pull it out without your hand getting wet.
Okay. 2.
Go all the way down. I can see it. Good. Now pull your finger out. Is it wet?
Yeah.
Your finger's wet? All right, so that didn't work either.
No.
For our third glass, we are going to put some Lycopodium powder across the surface of the water. And as we see, it's not falling through. Okay, Kai, now can you stick your hand through that without your hands getting wet?
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. Now take your hand out. Is it wet?
Yeah, it's a little bit.
Shake it on the side of the glass. Is your finger wet? No, your finger's not wet. It's dry. It has the powder on it.
Yeah.
All right, try doing it again. Stick your finger in there again. Now take your finger out. Is your hand wet?
Yeah.
No, it's not wet. So that means you just stuck your hand in a glass of water and your hand did not get wet. Is that pretty cool?
Yeah.
So if you notice, inside of the glass, it almost looks like there's a glove around your finger. But when you pull your finger out, it's perfectly dry. The only thing that sticks to the finger is the Lycopodium powder. So what exactly is Lycopodium powder? It is actually the spores of a fern plant. I'll explain a little bit more. So why does the Lycopodium powder work in the experiment whereas pepper and baking soda did not? It's because Lycopodium powder is hydrophobic. Hydrophobic, hydro meaning water, phobic meaning it doesn't like it. So for someone who is an arachnophobe, that's somebody who doesn't like spiders, like me. I don't like them. I want to be far away from them as possible. So whereas some things are hydrophilic, where they like to be close to each other because they're so loving. Okay? Hydrophobic is the very opposite. It pushes it away. So that means that the Lycopodium powder does not like to bond with water. It repels each other. So when I stick my finger, or when Kai puts her finger in the glass, the Lycopodium powder covers her finger, and when she breaks through the surface of the water, the powder protects her finger from the water and repels it. That's another reason why soap is very important when you wash your hands, because soap loves water. It's actually bipolar. That's right. Soap is bipolar. It both is attracted to and hates water. So that's why it's important when you wash your hands with soap, because the friction from soap, the part that hates water, bonds to whatever's on your hands, and then the other part of that soap bonds to water, which allows it to grab onto water and dirt and wash away down the drain. And so when you put soap and water together, it breaks through the surface tension of the water, and you can use that to even power a little boat. So let's go to part 2 of our experiment. You ready to do part 2?
Yeah.
All right, so let's do part 2.
Yeah.
To further explain how surface tension works and how soap breaks down the surface tension of water, we're going to use pepper, just like we did in the last setup with the cups. So we're going to put a little bit of pepper. Okay, so Kai's holding that spoon really still, and now we're going to sprinkle it across the surface of the water. Good. All right, now set the spoon down.
Okay.
Good. Now, you notice the pepper is mostly sitting on top of the water. So what we're going to use is a drop of this Dawn dish detergent, and we're going to put 1 drop in the middle, and I want you to watch the movement of the pepper. Notice how the pepper starts moving very quickly? What that is indicating is that the surface tension of the water has broken, and so where the soap hits, it's breaking down the water molecules, and so now they're moving to areas of very high surface tension to where the Dawn dish soap did not touch. And so the pepper moves the way those molecules are moving as they separate and try to join forces other places. For our next experiment, you're going to need a couple of items. So if you have an index card at home, then you're going to need a little square piece cut off. You've got all those nice glossy junk mail that comes in, just cut a piece of corner off. Or if you don't have any one of those and you have one of these little plastic bread or bread ties, you can usually find these on bags, like a bread wrapper, or if you've got some paper plates or styrofoam plates. These little plastic things are usually there to keep the bag closed. These are perfect little boats. You're also going to need a tub, a little plastic tub, and you need to put just a little bit of water inside of it. And you're also going to need some Dawn dish detergent. So we were just talking about water having a skin, right?
Yeah.
Because the water molecules like to be close together. So now we're going to break down that skin or surface tension using Dawn dish detergent. And as we drop the Dawn dish detergent in one spot, those water molecules are going to break down. The surface tension as it moves is going to take our little boat and make it fly across the surface of the water. Are you ready? All right. Kai has chosen boat number 1, which is that glossy cardstock that came in the mail. So we're going to place this in the water like this, and we're going to put the soap, hold on one second, we're going to put the soap on that open cut end right there. Lay it flat just like that. Now, I'm going to drop one. Well, our boat wasn't turned the right way, so we're going to have to do this again. So the key to this experiment working is that you have to position it across the top as far back, hold on, as far back here as possible, and it needs to face that direction so that it can move forward across the water. Remember, it has to face this way, so you want to make sure your water is nice and still. This one is an index card. All right, so Kai, let's place it really gently right there. All right, and you see how our water is moving? You don't want our water to move, so don't touch the water. All right, so now we're going to put that drop right behind the boat. Okay. And did you see it go? Yeah. That's exactly what you want to see happen. The soap breaks down the surface tension, and as it moves from low to high, because once we put it in, it breaks the surface tension here, and that makes everything rush forward to where there's high, and that's what moves our boat across the water. Right there. All right, and so now we're going to try our third and final boat. All right, so here we have the green plastic like bag end, and this one is perfect for this because it's plastic and it's not paper, so that means it's not going to get soggy and ruined like our other little boats that we used in our other experiment. Now, one other thing you have to remember, I'm not putting a lot of water here in our bowl because every time we drop some soap into the water, we have to change it, because once the surface tension is broken, you can't repower the boat in the same bucket of water. So we've had to change our water like 2 or 3 times already to make sure that all the soap is out. Right, Kai? Yeah. Okay, so we're going to put our boat in. Make sure you got the back of your boat, just like the little opening. All right, so place it in there gently. Woo! All right, so we're going to move our little plastic boat down to this end.
That's the pool?
Exactly, it's like a little pool. Okay, our boat wants to face this way, so how about we put it there? Ha! Look, Kai likes it better down there. And then we're going to drop one little, and it's moving. There it goes, all the way across the bowl of water. You can do this experiment here in this bowl, or you can do it in the bathtub. You can even go outside and get a kiddie pool and put enough water in the bottom to float your little boat and see how long it takes your little boat to float across the water. Again, these are all really fun experiments that you can do at home using water and typical household things that you have to have some boat races with your friends and to see how far of a distance you can get your little boat to travel. So thank you, Kai, for being my wonderful assistant today. High five. Alrighty, so you want to tell everybody bye?
Bye.
All right, you guys have fun doing your experiments. It's your favorite 4-H agent, Jonette, saying
Bye.
bye-bye.